This week we are talking about cell structure and function. First, we will talk about cell theory. Cell theory has three parts to it. The first says that cells are the basic unit of structure and function in living things. So the smallest living thing is a cell. The second part says that cells come from cells. Which means we have to have a cell to make a cell. And the last part says that all living things are made of cells, which we already know because we said one of the characteristics of life is to be made of cells. Next, I'd like to talk through some important cell structures or parts. We will start with the outside and work our way inward. Around every single cell in the whole entire world is a cell membrane. The function of the cell membrane is that it controls what goes in or out. For most cells, this is the outermost layer. Only some cells have a cell wall. The cell wall is there for protection. And for cells that have a cell wall, it is outside of the cell membrane, which I will abbreviate CM. Next is the nucleus. The nucleus houses DNA for some cells. All cells ever in the world have ribosomes that make proteins. Moving on. Some cells have mitochondria. The mitochondria is the location of cell respiration and during that process, the mitochondria makes ATP energy. Some cells have chloroplast. The chloroplast is the location of photosynthesis and inside of the chloroplast, we make glucose. Some cells will have endoplasmic reticulum. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is called the rough ER. ER stands for endoplasmic reticulum. But the rough ER has attached ribosomes. That's why it is rough. And its job is to make and modify proteins. So the large proteins or ones that need some extra modifications will be made here. There is also a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and it is called smooth because it does not have ribosomes. The job of the smooth ER is to make lipids, and it helps with detoxification. So in places where our bodies where detoxification takes place, like in the liver, those cells will have lots and lots of smooth ER. Couple more cell parts to go. Next is the Golgi apparatus. The G in Golgi is always capitalized because it is named after a person whose last name is Golgi. The job of the Golgi apparatus is to package proteins. Or other things that need to be sent elsewhere or outside of the cell. Next is the vacuole. Vacuoles store water and other materials. Could be extra nutrients, could be waste, but at any rate, they store water and other materials. Then we have the lysosome. Lysosomes digest waste. They will contain lots of enzymes on the inside that help break down the stuff the cell doesn't need anymore. And finally, all cells ever in the world have cytosol. Cytosol is the fluid inside, where all of the many things that are inside the cell are suspended. The last thing for today is to talk about the differences and similarities between the two types of cells. There are only two big categories of cells. They will either be prokaryotic cells oh no, what have I done? Let's try that again. Oh no. Where'd my purple pen go? They will either be prokaryotic cells that have no nucleus, no organelles, but they do have a cell membrane, maybe a cell wall, cytosol, DNA, and ribosomes. Prokaryotic cells are generally unicellular, meaning one cell is the whole organism. They are small, And the prokaryotic cells we have on our planet are bacteria. The other type of cell is a eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus where the DNA is. They have organelles. They are generally multicellular. When compared to prokaryotic cells, they are big. And organisms that are eukaryotic are plants, animals, fungi, and this weird group of leftover organisms called protists. And that is all for cells today.